Hello everybody, my name is indeed CactiMamba, and today we're going to be doing a couple things. One is we'll be reacting to the patch notes that are coming, which, if I refresh my screen, you can see are not out yet, because we're going to be doing the other thing that I was going to talk about today, which is kind of what I'm hoping for the new patch. And by the way, I'm hoping that, since it's just going to be like a dead screen right now, I'm hoping that I remember to put up some, like, Path of Champions gameplay or whatever. So, yeah, so hopefully you can see some Path of Champions gameplay in the background while you're just listening to me. But I was just going to talk about, kind of what the minimum in my mind is for this next patch. And this is obviously, you're going to see this before I react to the patch. Oops, just turned my mic off there. My bad. Scuffed already. A minimum for me in terms of, like, what the patch is, so you can kind of hear, like, oh, this is kind of what they're expecting at the very minimum for the new patch, and then kind of what I'm hoping for, at least like what I would consider to be more like a normal kind of like patch that like I'll be very happy with, and then I'll talk to you guys a little bit about like Wishlist for like this patch and the future patches of like if they do this stuff, it's just amazing. Oh my god, excuse me. You know what I mean? So, but first I wanted to talk to you guys about the rate of the patches, right? Because Path of Champions 2.0 got dropped on on May 25th, 2022. Obviously this year, right? It just came out. And then the last Path of Champions patch came out on July 20th, 2022. So almost 2 full months later. Whereas now we're about to get a Path of Champions patch on August 31st, 2022. So only about a week and or only about a month and about like a week and a half, right? So a little bit different in terms of duration, right? About 2 weeks difference right there. Now, the thing with that is that obviously that means that unless they had some stuff in the works beforehand, it might be slightly harder for them to put out as much stuff, because 2 weeks earlier is a lot of time in game development, right? So I'm not sure exactly what we'll see in that regard, just because of the fact that it's really more like almost 3 months out from Path Champions 2.0, not like 4 or anything like that. So you got to keep that one in mind. It's a little over 3 months out from. It's about a week out from 3 months in Path Champions 2.0. Oh, with that being said, they did release a patch last time, and that patch included, um, you know, they included, I believe, 4 different champions, 8 new relics, and 1 region, which was Sarima. And in that region, they had 1 run. So that was it. That was their additions. And so my minimum, right, like if they can't do this, I'm going to be kind of surprised, was at least 4 new champions. Which, I'm hoping for more than 4, but we'll talk about that in a second. At least 6 new relics, right? So some 6 new, like, interesting relics and things like that. And then 1 new run as a 3-star minimum, because I don't want to see anything lower than 3 stars. We already have plenty of runs that are lower than 3 stars. At least give us a 3-star run, ideally 3.5 or higher, but at least give us a 3-star run. Then I will be like, okay, alright, they did what they needed to do, is kind of what my thought process will be if they're doing things like that. Whereas my preference, what I'm hoping for, is about 6 to 8 champions, because we have 5 new champions coming, and I would like to see all of them make it in to the new mode. And then 8 new relics minimum instead of 6. And then 1 to 2 runs. So like I prefer 1 or 2 runs instead of just 1. Like potentially getting up to 2, and they would both be 3.5 star or higher. And then a new region. So probably the Freljord is what I was thinking would get dropped. So that would be kind of what would be nice, but I'm not certainly sure it'll come out. This is more like, okay, I'm hoping that this will come out, but I'm not exactly confident, because I know it might be a little bit tough. And then, so the difference between those two is like, just kind of like how much are we willing to divert to like really put out quality stuff in the Path of Champions mode and things like that, because we don't really have a roadmap right now. So that's all the other thing that I'm really hoping for right now, is because we don't have a roadmap. They have not dropped a roadmap, and I believe they're supposed to drop a roadmap with this expansion. I could be wrong, but I think they were going to. But either way, maybe I'm wrong on that one. But the whole thing with the roadmap is that if you're not dropping the roadmaps, we don't really understand like what's going to get dropped and things like that, especially since the last roadmap we had was from like very early in the year. And the problem with that roadmap was it didn't really tell us anything accurately because, like, a couple months later, they contradicted themselves whenever they said that the PvE was no longer going to be in their focus and they were refocusing on PvP. So, like, I don't really know what they want to do right now, right? So it makes it a little bit harder to say, like, oh yeah, they're making some actual true, like, big changes to Path of Champions, or like, oh, maybe this one's more just like, maybe like, and then, so we don't really know what like their patch plan is, right? And then it's like the other thing that I always think about is it's like, okay, what's their cadence? Maybe they do a smaller patch and then a big patch, right? And then a smaller patch and a big patch, because if they don't do a big patch for Path of Champions now, then they have to do one the next patch afterwards. Because if they can't add a little bit of extra stuff after, in my opinion, 6 months or half a year, then it's like, when are you going to add it? Just like big stuff every once a year? That's not okay. And they're like, you can't do that. You got to add stuff a little bit sooner than that if you want people to consistently be playing, even more so than you're already planning on doing it. But with that being said, since we don't have a roadmap, I'm just going to talk about some of the things that I would hope for this patch and also future patches. So one was the 8 champions instead of 6, because then the 8 champions is, first off, so many things you can play, right? So many things to play, and that also helps with the longevity of the game. And then 10 plus relics, including potentially epic relics. So they talked about this a little bit whenever they first dropped it. Things like epic relics would be really, really cool to see. Then the next thing I was going to talk about would be that this is a pretty big one in my opinion. Potential 4-star upgrades, so you would get another tier above 3-star to potentially level 2, and also a 4th star, kind of like make you even stronger to coincide with maybe like really, really hard bosses that are coming. And then I would also talk about like maybe extending the level cap past that a little bit, right? Like, so maybe the level cap is now 35, right, instead of 30. I don't know, something like that. And then that would also coincide with my next point, which was the 2 or 3 runs that are 3.5 stars or higher ish for the most part, and then maybe even a 4-star run in there. Like a 4-star run would be cool. And then if they threw a 4-star run in there, then that would mean that, obviously you could then have everything be that way with, you know what I'm talking about. You could have the 4-star run be kind of like the new like top peak, and the reason why that's actually so important, by the way, you have the 4-star run be higher, and then you have like 4-star champions and stuff like that too. The reason why it's so important that the 4-star is even higher is then that means that every single champion that you've beaten Gallia with becomes very, very playable again, and it doesn't feel as is like, okay, we're just going to keep moving through this, because now you have a new boss to beat with literally every single champion. That makes you feel a lot better. It's an extra challenge as players go up and up and up, right? Because we already have like a lot of content for like leveling in the lower areas of the game and Path Champions, stuff like that, but how does it feel for the top echelon of players, which keeps players coming back to your game? It's like as you go up, it's like, okay, hey, let's beat this really, really, really tough character here, and things like that, right? So that was what I was thinking about. And then potentially, and again, remember, guys, this is my wish list. Okay, so this is not necessarily things that I'm necessarily expecting. These are just things that, like, if I could, I'd add them in, right? Like, so it's like, you got to keep in mind that obviously I don't expect these things to come in, but I'm hoping that, like, in this patch or maybe the next patch or the patch after, we're starting to see some of these things drop. My next wish was kind of like 2 new regions instead of just the one. Like, it'd be nice to see some really, like, interesting, really new regions, expand that map a little bit, force some more runs out, get some really interesting bosses in there. And then one of the things I wanted to talk about next, which I've talked about this a little bit, but man, quality of life for relics especially is so challenging, because it's really tough to get them. It's really tough to get them because it's so random, and there's not enough frequency in terms of allowing you to get some. At least once you get to like the top, that it's like you're just waiting every week and then you get a relic, right? That's kind of how it feels, and I don't really like that feeling. So I think that there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could either still keep the same system, but just have the ability to purchase relics with fragments, which is, I think, is completely fine, right? Like, they don't have to be cheap or anything either. Like, you could say, okay, a bronze relic is, I don't know, like 5, and then, or like 6, or something decent. Like it doesn't have to be cheap, and then a rare, or like the not the bronze relic, but like the you know what I mean, the common relics would be like 5 or 6 or whatever. Then the rare relics would be like 10, 10 or 20 or something like that. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. But yeah, so like what I was gonna kind of just talking about is like it feels really bad with relics right now more than anything. I think that's the system that feels the worst. Um, so for me, uh, I don't know. I kind of view it as just kind of if you're if that's you, like you're kind of feeling that way about like okay, just let me know because I don't know. I feel like relics are kind of insanely hard to feel like you can get them quickly right now, right? So that's just kind of my take on that. And then I was thinking in the future they could also add in legendary items to the game, so like the kind of things that you would be having on like supporting cards and things like that. Potentially starting to add in some legendary stuff because right now like you can get epic stuff, right? But not legendary stuff. And then also just adding in like things like new powers added to the champion pool, or like not the champion pool, the power pool. Sorry. And then my other thought was like some sort of like bi-weekly or like monthly reward like goal to work towards too. But that was just me. Like I don't know. Like maybe you just do something that's a little bit more out there. Like you can get a little bit more stuff, but then it's like okay, we can jumpstart things because as you add more and more champions in, the need for wild fragments becomes higher and higher and higher because you can only get them so fast, right? So it's like it takes so long to level up some of these characters, especially if you're not willing to spend coins for the first 30 fragments that you need for certain champions, right? It's like it's pretty insane how much you need. So that's just kind of my thought process there. And then, let me take a water break real quick. My last request is really just the things like prestige systems for the deck or star power. So like what that would mean is your star powers can get stronger, but you'd have prestige, meaning that you'd have to go all the way back down to 1 star and work your way up again. But your star powers could get exponentially better with prestiges or things like that, or maybe it just makes it so that all your decks are prismatic or something like that. Something cool, right? Something cool like that. Now, I know that would be like a long time off, right? Like this is something. The things I'm going to be talking about now are like a little bit further in the works here, right? The 5-star cap as well for champions would be awesome, I think, but I don't think I'm expecting anything like that for patches and patches and patches. Heck, I don't even expect we're going to get like 4 stars for our patch now, even though that would be awesome. I'm not expecting it, so this is like really far down the line, which then also means that you could have 5-star bosses, right? 5-star bosses that would have like 5 different enemies that you'd be going into, for bosses and things like that. The runs would take like an hour or two, right? Like it'd be really cool if we could have like a run that took like 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that yet. The Galio run takes like an hour or less, right? Like typically it's an hour at the longest. Otherwise it's gonna take less than that. Imagine if you had so many bosses that I was like, all right, I have to sit down for like 2 hours if I want to do this run all at once. And then it's like then speed running becomes really awesome on that and things like that. So I don't know. That's just kind of my thought process on everything. But hopefully you guys appreciated kind of the points I was getting at there because I don't know. I kind of we don't get a lot of information as Path Champions players, right? Because that's not their main mode anymore, which is like fine. But a lot of people play Path Champions, so it just kind of feels bad sometimes whenever we don't get all the information. Obviously, I'm expecting a Path Champions patch today. If we don't get anything for Path Champions, I'd probably lose my mind. I'd be like, wow, we got one for a smaller expansion, but then for a bigger expansion, we get nothing, So I don't think that that's going to be the case, obviously. I think we're going to get a patch. It's just, what are we going to get, right? Like, and I'm hoping it's more than the bare minimum. I kind of told you guys what the bare minimum is, but I can tell you guys again. It's 4 new champions, which would mean that they're cutting at least 1 different champion, and then 1 new run, at least a 3-star, and like 6 relics, which is in about in the time period of when they're dropping this patch, and for how little they dropped in the last patch, I think it's very doable for them. But that's just me. I think that's a pretty doable thing for them to do. Now, I would prefer at least 1 new region, maybe like the Freljord region, meaning that we're getting at least like 6 new champions, and then we can get an extra Freljord champion with Ornn, right? So we get the 5 new champions plus the extra Freljord one. That would be what I would hope for, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that could be happening, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to go on and everything, but I'm just excited, but also anxious because I hope that we get as much as possible in the mode. Like, I'm not going to go and hope for the world, right? But it'd be nice to have some little extra stuff in there that just kind of goes like, hey, you know, we'll do like a small patch, big patch, small patch, big patch, right? Which I'm completely fine with it. That's the way that they want to do it. It kind of tutors my expectations a little bit more too, and it allows me to kind of have a better expectation for what's coming, which I prefer, right? Like, I prefer kind of knowing a little bit more about what's going on. But hopefully you guys appreciated the first part of this video, everything like that. So now I'm going to leave it to Mr. Cacti in the future, whenever he shows up, probably in it's 9:25 right now, so we're waiting about 35 more minutes probably for the new patch. But whenever that shows up, you'll see him again, right? He'll be talking about the patch notes for Patch Champions especially, but then just everything in the patch notes, and then you can kind of let me know down in the comments what you guys thought below. So yeah, take it over, Mr. Cacti in the future. Welcome back, people. I'm still CactiMamba here, but today we're going to be reacting to the new Path of Champions. Just give me one moment to refill my water bottle before we start, so 1 second. Sorry about that, scuff. Alright, and water is equipped and everything like that, and it is 10 o'clock on the dot here, so I'm going to refresh my screen in a second, and we're going to see the new patch notes. Oh god, I'm a little anxious. Alright, 3, 2, 1, 2. Patch notes, okay. 2 new skins, okay, interesting. We do see the Path of Champions and the weekly adventures, nice, and a corrupted event, okay. Okay, we see Path Champion stuff, so okay, first new Darkened Saga, cool at approximately 11 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. We already know the new mechanics and things like that. We know Kane's origins and things like that, so if you haven't seen all that, you can read that in the patch notes. I'm not going to go through all that. Auto clip's kind of interesting, more like so, you know, a lot of the new keywords and stuff are interesting. We realized we were lumping everything together into one big tasty keyword soup. Moving forward, we will be selective about what we refer to as keywords. Okay, cool. New challenges. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Alright, Path Champions. Yes! Oh my god! So, you guys remember whatever I was talking about with how many new champions I would have liked to see? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 champions. What? That's crazy. I was expecting like 6 or 4, but 9? I love that. Oh my goodness. And this is Ionian. This is Shadow Isles. This is Targon. So we finally got 2 Targon champions. Look at that. Leona and Diana right there. And then we got Ash, which is Freljord, Orin, which is Freljord, and then we got 2 Rune Terran, right? And then we got a Nora, who's Bandle City. So you have 1 Bandle City card, and then we have 4 new relics, which is Gale Force, Golden Spatula, which is a meme, by the way. That one's a meme. Guardian Sword, and Wriggle's Lantern. Okay, I'm really curious to see what these ones are as well. And then we got the new region, Shadow Isles, which says yes. So, I don't know, is that like Thresh, maybe? Is that like what they're teasing? Is it Thresh is coming? I don't know. Either way, I'm really happy, guys. And then weekly adventures. What I was talking about, like these new types of adventure. Oh no, these are adventures. Wait, hold on. We're very excited to introduce a brand new type of adventure to Path of Champions, weekly adventures. These adventures will bring 3 different difficulties and will be randomly generated from existing adventures with mutators. Oh my god. Okay, guys, I'm in love. Starlight Portal unlocks Legend level 6. Okay, so you can like play this once Legend level is something difficulty has been achieved, and it rewards 1 bronze reliquary with 11 or with 1,000 Legend level points plus mutators, 1 beneficial. Oh, it's telling you like what will happen to like these inside the adventures, right? And then the next one's Shadow Portal, right? And these are brand new type of adventures to Path Champions, weekly adventures, which, by the way, I love because it keeps things fresh. By the way, it's great. Unlocks Legend level 10, which, by the way, we're already past Legend level 20 even, so I don't think we'd have to worry about that. 1 Silver Vault, 1,000 points, 1 beneficial, 1 harmful mutator. And then the last one is 1 Silver Reliquary and which is good because it unlocks more of the relics, which is what we want, baby. Rewards for each of the 3 portals can be earned once per week. Subsequent completions will reward only 1 XP, champion XP. These 3 adventures will be located in the ocean between Noxus and Ionia. Okay, so this is like ocean type stuff. Weekly adventures will display in your journal with a reset timer visible. Any in-progress adventures will retire. Wow. Wow, guys. I love this. Oh my god. I didn't even think about this because I really didn't think that they were going to be doing some like weekly stuff to keep things exciting, but I'm in love, guys. I'm in love. And then it looks like we're going to get like Thresh maybe with the new region of Shadow Isles, which I am so for. I love the fact that we're getting a new region. The best part though is, guys, and it's so freaking good that they're doing this. They added so many champions. This is the big thing because with more champions, more diversity, more abilities, more things to get here. And I mean, it's also easier to level up your or not your lab level, your legend level because of the new things here. And then we've also even got a few new relics, which are nice, but these are not as important as the champions, right? Like, I'd rather see less relics, more champions, which is what we got. And then we'll have to see what the new boss is, right? Like, we'll have to see if he's a really strong boss or maybe not so much. But I'm super hyped. This is awesome. And we're even going to get a corrupted event, which I'm hoping, before we even look at it, sorry, scrolling back up real quick, the last corrupted event, or not corrupted event, but event in general had something really cool, which was they had the rewards for Path Champions inside the event, which I love because that means that they're focusing on Path Champions and things like that. So that's just what I would keep in mind here. So, okay, some cool card backs and things like, there's a Hecarim there, I think. Hecarim, Kayn, some sort of like void thing, and then Zoe, right? Is what it is? I like the Demacian. So, okay, whatever. It says, ancient evils have awoken across all of Runeterra. Hope dims. Okay, This patch and future patches will come with many free nodes. Okay, cool. Whether you choose to play in the premium pass or not. And it doesn't say what else we would get in there. So it doesn't say if we have like a Path of Champions reward and stuff like that. But it'll expire in October, which means our next patch is probably coming like a week or 2 after that in October. Which I'm completely fine with. So, oh, Pantheon. Is it Oh! It's Pantheon, not Hecarim. That's even better, guys. Okay, so as you guys know, the image of the channel here is Pantheon, or more accurately, the Mantheon. So the fact that we're getting more Pantheon skins is awesome, and I'm probably gonna like this one a little bit more than Infernal. So let's just see. We're gonna open these in a new. Wait 1 second here. I'm gonna open this in a new tab just so that we can see things a little better here. Oh my god, I love this. Look at this, guys. Oh my gosh. And then, like, what's his other one? Let's see this one. This is his leveled version. This is just alternate art, but it looks so dope. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh my, look at how big he is! Look at that! Okay. And then we've got Corrupted Taric. Awesome. So you can do, like, a full Corrupted deck between Taric and Pantheon here. That's awesome. So let's see this one first. Oh my goodness. Okay, he's sad. This is Taric one emo. What the heck? What's this one? Wow. Okay, awesome. Corrupted Diana, which another champion in Path of Champions, which is big, right? So they're adding more skins to Path of Champions cards here. Look at that. And then, oh, okay, I like this one. I like the Corrupted Diana one a lot, too. My favorite so far is Corrupted Pantheon, though. The Mantheon. Okay, Corrupted Leona. They're adding a lot of skins, first off, but also a lot of skins to Path of Champions, which is good. It's really good. Then there's Leona. Ooh, okay. This is the complete opposite of what she normally looks like. Dude, she kind of looks like Kale. I don't know if you've ever seen Kale before, but Kale looks a lot like Leona. Especially, like, man, that's really cool, though. I really like that. That's awesome. Okay, then the upcoming champion skins. Oh, so we're getting another patch later that's going to have some of these skins, which is Zoe. Okay, alright. Oh my god, okay. Zoe seems insane. So these are all just alternate art, right? Yeah, so these are all alternate art. And then she's going to have a unique level up animation, VFX, and alternate art, which is going to be exciting for sure. I'm a fan of Zoe. And then the Darken Reaper board, which is good for Kayn. And Kayn Shadow, which is, you know, more Kayn stuff. Not that surprising. We get some stuff here. I love the Corrupted Pantheon card. That's awesome. I wish they'd already made Pantheon into Path of Champions, but it doesn't seem like they have yet. And then we can get 8 new icons. That's crazy. Oh, and this is the ranked icons. The ranked icons look really cool. I like that a lot. I actually like their iron and stuff icons quite a bit. Like, I know that they're supposed to like level her up and stuff as she goes, but I don't know. I like this one a lot too. Then we've got like bundles, yada yada yada. Is there anything else here? They changed some cards a little bit. And then miscellaneous. Equipment cannot be silenced. Okay, nothing for Path Champions. And it looks like everything else. Okay. Alright. Perfect. So, here we go, guys. Back to Path Champions stuff. After you saw my raw reaction, I'm just going to talk about a little bit about like what this means for Path Champions in the future and what we're adding, right? This is probably even bigger than what like adding multiple more stars and things like that, because this allows, by the way, more ability to access things, but then also it allows people to play these sorts of things very consistently and like, you know, just keep their like, you know, keep it fresh, keep it moving, right? And now I don't know how hard Dark Star Portal will be because there's 3 different portals, right? But I think that this would be very interesting to play. And then it's like, okay, then it's like, you know, I could probably make at least 1 video a week on like the toughest one, right? Like that's, so it's like these sorts of things add the replayability. They add the things like that, which makes it more interesting and makes you want to play each week, right? Instead of feeling like, oh, you know, it's just the same thing over and over and over. So these are what I like to see. This is the exact sort of thing I was looking for in terms of like wishlist stuff, even though I didn't name it specifically. This is the kind of stuff, like, I'm not going to say that I wanted it as in like I was ready for it and I was expecting it, but like this is the kind of thing that you want to see, right? This is the thing that adds promise to the mode, right? So well done with the Path to Champions stuff. Well done. That is amazing. And then, you know, I'm curious to see what these new relics are. I like the fact that we have the golden spatula. That's awesome. And then 9 new champions, guys. 9. That is awesome. 9 new champions is so big. That is so good. I love seeing it. That is so many champions to play, guys. That is so many. There's no shot. And since the next patch is supposedly, in my mind, coming out in like October or something, right? That would mean that we're getting new stuff in October. Or from like, so that's so soon. You know, like, and we're getting 9 new champions to play with until then. And you bet your butt I'm going to be playing all of them. Like, this is going to be awesome. I love this so much. I hope you guys are so amped. I'm so amped. And this means a lot for the mode. This really does. I'm not expecting that we're going to get 9 champions every single time we drop something here. But, guys, it means a lot for the mode because this means that they're able to put 9 new champions out, a new region, and then this weekly adventure stuff. Even though it's auto-generated, I don't care. It still, it doesn't matter. Like, it means so much to the mode, right? It means so much. And I'm hoping that this is a very tough one. The Dark Star Portal is a very tough one. And it means so much for the mode. It means so much for kind of keeping the longevity of the mode and things like that, which is so important, right? Like, we want to see this mode become established. It's been its own permanent, after the last patch, now it has its own permanent, like, thing. Instead of it just being in labs, it is actually its own permanent, like, Path of Champions is, like, what you go whenever you go into the game and everything like that. So, it's so big for this. And this is just another step towards saying, like, hey, even though it's not our main priority, because obviously PvP is still going to be our main priority, PvE is still not, like, completely in the back seat. We forgot about him. You guys they didn't forget about him at all. They didn't forget about us, alright? They love us. They love doing this, and they love making sure that we feel appreciated with 2 new Targon champions, a Shadow Isles champion, a Vandal City champion. Not a big fan of Vandal City, but still big. An Ionian, multiple Runeterran, and then 2 Freljord champions, baby. Freljord's one of my favorite regions, so I'm happy to see Ash and Ornn, baby. And I'm imagining that Ash is probably going to have Frostbite every round at the strongest enemy at Star 3, which, that's pretty strong power, guys. That's pretty strong power. So, with that being said, I really, really appreciate the new stuff here. I hope you guys appreciated my reactions to it. I'm excited. I think just a quick recap to kind of end everything off here is the new champions, 9 new champions, amazing. Do I expect this every single patch? No, but if this starts happening every single patch, will I be disappointed? Absolutely not. The 400 relics are awesome. Can't wait to see what they are. Interesting names. Some of these are from League of Legends, so I play a little bit of League of Legends, so I know the names. And then weekly adventures. Arguably one of the biggest things that's coming out of this. Honestly, the 9 new champions is really big too. Like that's more significant than anything. But other than that, the weekly adventures are huge because it adds to replayability. It adds the ability to get more XP and stuff too in a more interesting way. Like you can mix things up, so it's not always feeling very, very, monotonous and things like that. And you're just kind of like, around everywhere. So that's really big. And then the new event with everything here. Also really cool. Hope it has Path to Champions stuff in there, which allows you to level stuff up better and faster, and things like that. So I'm excited for that. And then personalization stuff, cool. We'll see more of what that stuff comes out, but I know that that's not the main thing here. So that should wrap it up. I think that 9 new champions, insane. New region from Shadow Isles, insane, but not as big as the weekly adventures. But it is insane. I'm hoping Thresh is at least 3.5 stars, or whoever it is. But I think it's Thresh because of the yes line, which is typically a Thresh line. But I'm hoping that whatever it is at least a 3.5 star champion, meaning that we're going to get something that can compete with Galio for the top spot as a boss. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the video. It's kind of going to be a long one, I guess, because I segmented this into 2 parts. That's why it takes longer. Hope you guys appreciated my wish list and stuff from earlier. I thought those were some kind of interesting ideas. I didn't predict this at all, as you guys know. And yeah, so I love this new patch already, and I'm going to be sitting at my desk ready to start it the moment this bad boy comes out. And yeah, so you guys will see me tomorrow, which today is obviously Wednesday for you guys, but tomorrow will be Thursday for you guys, and that's when you'll see me because I will have some sort of video about the new patch dropping. So yeah, with that being said, guys, let me know what you guys thought about the new patch down in the comments below. I'm, for one, extremely hyped. I knew that there was going to be some sort of patch, but I was anxious. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought down below, and peace.